Notice of a public meeting of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville. Pursuant to Chapter 551, Title 5 of the Texas Government Code, the Texas Open Meetings Act, notice is hereby given that the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, in accordance with Article 5, Section 12 of the Charter of said city, will convene a regular meeting on Tuesday, November the 4th, 2014, at 6 p.m. in the Commission Chambers on the second floor of Brownsville City Hall, located at 1001 East Elizabeth Street, Brownsville, Cameron County, Texas. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one indivisible.
Let's pray. Father God, we thank you for this nation that we're blessed to be a part of. We thank you for our responsibilities as citizens in voting. Lord, I ask you to lead and guide the voters in this last hour of voting. Lead and guide each election worker. Lord, we ask for an accurate and quick count, Lord God, mostly accurate. Lord, I ask you to lead and guide our commissioners and our mayor today with this particular meeting, with all the things that they have to decide. Help them make the best decisions for the city of Brownsville. Lord, we thank you for all of these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Item number 1, Mayor's Activity Report.
There's no activity report.
Commissioners,
I have one. I wanted to read a thank you letter. I was asked to read a thank you letter. Let me pull it up real quick. Dear City of Brownsville, with deep appreciation, the sounds of downtown in conjunction with the Dia de los Muertos celebration held this past Saturday evening, which was attended by over 400 guests benefiting several nonprofits, would like to acknowledge the City of Brownsville Chief Orlando Rodriguez with the Brownsville Police Department, Santana Torres, Homero Montelongo, Jose Antonio Vasquez and their crew with Public Works, Roberto Esparza, Raul Alcalar, Arnoldo Garza with the Traffic Department, Art Rodriguez with the Health Department, our City Forester, Roy Reyes, Jolie Rubio, and the Greens Division, Tad Hassey with the Municipal Court, and Tara Putnat and her staff with the Brownsville Historical Association for their efforts to make this evening a resounding success. Special thanks to our City Manager, Charlie Kabler, and his staff for their support in making our historic Market Square shine. The event could not have been a success without their assistance. In addition to fundraising for nonprofits, the event is designed to promote participation in downtown revitalizations. Thank you very much. The Sounds of Downtown Committee.
Thank you very much. Number 3, I'm sorry.
Just real quick, Mayor and public here. First of all, I'd like to thank Mr. Robert Tyler with the Police Department and the Chief and the entire department for the event they held at the West Brownsville Community Center on Military Highway. It was a huge success. It's my understanding they've done this for several years now. It's the first time I've attended, and I was impressed at how well organized and what safe environment it creates for trick-or-treaters. It was a great event. We had a lot of community partners, and I'd like to express my thanks to them as well. And also real quick, an invitation to everyone on Saturday, November 8th from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. at 1046 Mexico Boulevard. We'll be celebrating the Arbor Day Festival, and it's Care for Trees and the Environment and celebrate Brownsville's 15th year as Tree City, USA. So everyone's invited. And I'd also like to thank all the partners that are involved, BCIC, Keep Brownsville Beautiful, our City Forester, Roy Reyes, and all the other usual partners that we have, like BPUB. Thank you all, and please come out and support us.
I have one thing really quickly. This past Saturday, the City of Brownsville hosted the City Manager's annual golf tournament fundraiser for the Youth Fund, and I attended for a little bit. It is in District 3, and it is at our golf course. and it was very well attended, and I just wanted to thank all the community partners that helped make it possible, and I believe we raised over $70,000? Yes, over $70,000. So it was a huge success. Thank you to everyone that donated their time, city staff, and members of the community that donated items and money. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, appreciate it. Proclamations?
Proclamations, Nurse Practitioners Week. I don't think she's here. Is she here? Okay. If you'll stand in front of the dais and face the audience, please.
Welcome. Nice to have you here. Appreciate it. Commissioner?
Following is a proclamation of the City Commission of City of Brownsville, Texas, declaring the week of November 9th through the 15th, 2014 as Nurses Practitioners Week in our city. And whereas there are among 192,000 licensed nurse practitioners, known as NPs, in the United States, with 9,713 NPs practicing in Texas, providing high-quality, cost-effective, patient-centered, personalized health care. And whereas NPs have graduate, advanced education, most have master's degrees, and an increasing number have doctoral degrees. And whereas NPs perform and interpret diagnostic tests, diagnose and treat acute and chronic conditions, and prescribe medications and other treatments. And whereas 19 states and the District of Columbia have granted full practice authority to NPs, giving patients more direct access to the primary, acute, and specialty care services that NPs provide. And whereas NPs are truly partners in the health case of their patients, so that in addition to the clinical services, NPs focus on the health promotion, disease prevention, and health education and counseling, guiding patients to make smarter health and lifestyle choices. And whereas the excellent safety and cost effectiveness of the care provided by NPs is to establish and well documented. And whereas the faith and trust that patients have in NPs delivered health care is evidenced by more than 916 million visits made to NPs annually. And whereas a majority of patients support legislation for greater access to NP service. And whereas NPs provide health care to the people of all ages in diverse healthcare settings such as private office practice, hospitals, long-term care facilities, schools, state and local health departments, managed care facilities, and retail-based clinics. And whereas more than 18% of NPs practice in rural settings with populations of less than 25,000. And whereas it is documented that patients of NPs are given more personal time and attention than they traditionally receive from any other healthcare provider. Now therefore, we, the members of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, by the virtue of the authority vested by the Charter of said city, and on behalf of all our citizens, do hereby declare the week of November 9th through the 15th, 2014 as Nurse Practitioners Week in our city. And it's done this 4th day of November, 2014, signed Antonio Martinez, Mayor of Brownsville, and the City Commission. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you very much for this. It was an honor to be here, and I can be found at Valley Day and Night Clinic for preventive care or any type of sickness. There's a lot of flu, strep going around, so be sure and take good care of yourselves. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next proclamation is National Homelessness and Hunger Awareness Week.
Is that Jessica?
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Proclamation of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, declaring November 15th through the 23rd, 2014 as National Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week in Brownsville. Whereas for the past 25 years, the National Coalition for the Homeless and National Student Campaign Against Hunger and Homelessness have sponsored National Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week. And whereas the purpose of the proclamation is to educate the public about the many reasons people are hungry and homeless, including the shortage of affordable housing in Brownsville, Texas for very low-income residents, and to encourage support for the homeless assistance service providers, as well as community service opportunities for students and school service organizations. And whereas there are many organizations committed to sheltering, providing supportive services, as well as meals, food supplies to the homeless, including healthcare, education, employment, activities, literacy, drug awareness activities, counseling, and many other services. And whereas the theme of National Hunger and Homeless Awareness Week 2014 is Bringing America Home, and whereas the Brownsville City Commission recognizes that hunger and homelessness continues to be a serious problem for many individuals and families in Brownsville, Texas. Whereas the intent of the National Hunger and Homeless Awareness Week is consistent with the activities of the Ozanam Center, the Good Neighbor Settlement House, the Friendship of Women, Brownsville Independent School District, the University of Texas at Brownsville, Catholic Charities of the RGV Food Bank, United Way of Southern Cameron County, Brownsville Literacy Center, Area Agency on Aging, Tropical Texas Behavioral Health, the Valley AIDS Council, Workforce Solutions, the Brownsville Community Health Center, and the VA Texas Valley Coastal Bend Health System. And whereas the homeless prevention programs serve our community to address the immediate needs of homeless persons, youth, and families. Now, therefore, we, the members of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, by the virtue of the authority vested in the Charter of said city and on behalf of all of our citizens, do hereby proclaim November the 15th through the 23rd, 2014, as National Hunger and Homeless Awareness Week in our city, done this 4th day of November 2014. Antonio Tony Martinez, Mayor, and the City Commission. Thank you.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Commission. While circumstances can vary, the main reason people experience homelessness is because they cannot find housing they can afford. It is the scarcity of affordable housing in the United States, particularly more in urban areas where homelessness is more prevalent, that is behind their inability to acquire or maintain housing. By the numbers, there are 610,042 people experiencing homelessness on any given night in the United States. Of that number, 222,197 are people and families, and 387,845 are individuals. About 18% of the homeless population are considered chronically homeless, and about 9% of homeless adults are veterans. These numbers come from the point-in-time counts, which are conducted community by community on a single night in January every other year. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development requires communities to submit this data every other year in order to qualify for federal homeless assistance funds. We conduct the survey every year. Our next point-in-time survey is scheduled for January 29, 2015. Any help is greatly appreciated. You can contact us at the Office of Grant Management and Community Development. And now I'd like to acknowledge all these wonderful individuals who are the frontline service people that serve our homeless individuals. I'd like for them to acknowledge themselves and the agencies that they work for.
Thank you.
My name is Ruth Hunter, and I am the Interim Executive Director at the Good Neighbor Settlement House here in Brownsville. And on behalf of all those we serve, I want to thank you for this recognition of their plight and your dedication to helping us end it.
Thank you, Ruth.
Hi, my name is Victor Maldonado. I'm the Executive Director for the Ozanam Center. And on behalf of all the men, women, and families that we serve here in the city, I'd like to thank you for your support.
Thank you, Victor.
Good evening. My name is Ana Rodriguez. I'm a caseworker at Catholic Charities, and on behalf of our staff and Sister Norma Pimentel, we would like to thank you for being there for us. Thank you.
Ana.
And I'm Julia Lash. I'm the Social Services Coordinator. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Our next proclamation is Playful City USA 2014.
A proclamation of the City Commission of Brownsville, Texas, proclaiming the City of Brownsville as a 2014 Playful City USA community. Whereas play is a crucial factor in the overall well-being of children, and play spaces within walking distance of children's homes are missing from many communities and neighborhoods. And whereas children who play suffer less obesity and obesity-related health problems, such as diabetes and heart disease, perform better in school, and develop cognitive skills that are linked to learning and academic performance, and learn the social skills that help them become happy and well-adjusted adults. And whereas parents, schools, child care centers, nonprofit organizations, businesses, and all interested parties wish to raise this community's children to become healthy, happy, and successful adults. And whereas a team of 7 individuals representing the community of Brownsville attended the exclusive invitation-only Playful City USA 2014 Leaders Summit in Chicago, Illinois, on October 23 to 24, 2014. And whereas the City of Brownsville was the only city representing the state of Texas, and whereas the City of Brownsville, along with 12 other Playful City USA communities, learned, interacted, and collaborated with thought leaders, subject matter experts, and skilled facilitators. And whereas the City of Brownsville presented its bold goal of improving the overall vitality of the City of Brownsville by creating safer, healthier, and economically viable neighborhoods in our community. Now, therefore, we, the members of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, by virtue of the authority vested by the charter of said city, do hereby proclaim the City of Brownsville, Texas as a 2014 Playful City USA community, and urge all of our citizens to celebrate and support efforts to build and maintain play spaces and playgrounds in their communities and neighborhoods for the well-being of this and future generations. Done on this 4th day of November 2014, Honorable Mayor Antonio Martinez and Commissioners. Would you like to say something?
Congratulations, guys. Go ahead.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Commissioners. On October 23rd to the 24th, 7 representatives traveled to Chicago, Illinois, and representatives were from the Office of Grant Management, myself, Public Health Department, Parks and Recreation Department, UT School of Public Health, Brownsville Regional Campus, Healthy Communities of Brownsville, and the Brownsville Independent School District. And of course, Deborah Portillo, our City Commissioner, was with us as well in Chicago. We were one of 12 cities at the summit, and we were the only city in Texas. So we were very happy to be there. We did present our bold goal and our big idea. And as Ms. Portillo mentioned, our bold goal is to improve the overall vitality of the City of Brownsville by creating safer, healthier, and economically viable neighborhoods in our community. And we propose to do this through our big idea, which was to implement Ciclovia 2U, which is an expansion of our very own Ciclovia, turning streets in low-income neighborhoods into a safe place for everyone to move and play. We received feedback from thought leaders and subject matter experts on how to make our project more sustainable. We shared information with other playful cities, and we networked with a lot of foundations up there that are interested in making Brownsville more playful. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it very much. And thank you, Commissioner. Appreciate it.
Our next proclamation is Community Voice Campaign.
proclamation of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville supporting 2014 City of Brownsville Community Voice Campaign, which launches November 2014 and ends March of 2015. Whereas the City of Brownsville is a participating jurisdiction of the HUD Community Development Block Grant authorized under Title I of the Housing and Community Development Act of 1974, Public Law 93-383, as amended 42 USC 5301, and whereas HUD awards grants to entitlement community grantees to carry out a wide range of community development activities directed towards revitalizing neighborhoods, economic development, and providing improved community facilities and services. And whereas entitlement communities develop their own programs and funding priorities and must give maximum feasible priority to activities which benefit low and moderate income persons. And whereas a grantee must develop and follow a detailed plan which provides for and encourages citizen participation and which emphasizes participation by persons of low or moderate income, particularly residents of predominantly low and moderate income neighborhoods, slum or blighted areas, and areas in which the grantee proposes to use CDBG funds. And whereas the Community Voice Campaign's goal is to ensure that residents of Brownsville are able to continue to reside in, assist in defining, and actively participate in critical decision-making processes in the community as it evolves. Now, therefore, we, the members of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, by virtue of the authority vested by the charter of said city, and on behalf of all of our residents, hereby declare our support of the 2014 Annual Community Voice Campaign, which the Brownsville Office of Grant Management and Community Development Department will begin and which will consist of various community workshops and needs assessment surveys conducted throughout Brownsville neighborhoods, schools, and public community centers. Done on this, the 4th day of November 2014, signed Antonio Martinez, the Mayor, and the City Commission.
Mayor, Commissioners, this year we implemented something new, and thanks to a grant from BCIC, we're going to air our promotional video in Cinemark theaters beginning November 14th. So I'd like to let you guys see it, have a first view today. Together, we can build a better Brownsville.
Together, we can achieve the American dream.
We can build cooler parks and more places to ride our bikes.
Together, we can improve living.
Make learning fun.
And give a helping hand.
Your voice can help build a better Brownsville. Community Voice. For more information, head to our website, grants.cob.us. Our Channel 12 put that together for us, so a big thank you to them.
Our next item is the 2014 Annual Community Voice Campaign presentation.
Mayor, Commissioners, as we start our new campaign for this year, I wanted to remind everybody of our mission and our goals, and also let you guys know that we'll be coming into the neighborhoods to survey residents. We've partnered with several agencies to go ahead and do this. So I invite you as City Commissioners to promote our campaign and invite participants. Our mission statement, the Community Voice Campaign goal is to ensure that residents of Brownsville are able to continue to actively participate in critical decision-making processes in the community as it evolves. Our goal is to unite Brownsville residents by tackling some of the most pressing issues affecting the community, such as the lack of affordable housing, limited workforce development and employment opportunities, limited access to transit, parks, and healthcare, and anything that is essential of a vibrant and thriving community. We began this campaign in 2011, and we went into each of the 4 electoral districts to survey communities. We scheduled workshops in all of those 4 districts. We attended some church, the event centers. We changed location to try to increase participation. We had adult surveys and youth surveys in both English and Spanish. We kicked off our campaign at Ciclovia of that year. Our current outreach improvements, we've gone to electronic surveys. We've now partnered with the Housing Authority and several of our social service agencies to go into their events and survey the community. We received a grant from BCIC, Cycle 2 promotional grant, which allowed us to air our Cinemark video at Cinemark theaters. And we also applied for BCIC Cycle 2 Capital Grant for kiosks that will be, if awarded, we'll house those here at City Hall, several of our parks, City Plaza. We'll also have a portable one that we will take to our Ciclovia events and any other outreach events. I wanted to remind everyone of our survey results in 2012. We went out and we asked the community what they thought were the three most important needs in their community. They ranked recreational activities, including hike and bike trails and park improvements, as number 1. Infrastructure improvements, including street and sidewalk improvements, as number 2. And economic development, which included facade improvements and microloans. These surveys serve as a valuable tool for us to allocate our community development block grant funds. In fact, we're currently working on a microloan program for downtown. In 2013, our most recent survey results, we had 4 categories that when we surveyed the community. The first of those was public facilities, and the top 3 ranked were youth centers, senior centers, and again, parks and recreations and green spaces. Infrastructure improvements included new sidewalk construction, once again, drainage improvement, and garbage pickup. In regards to public services, literacy programs, youth services, and life skills training ranked top 3. And regarding housing assistance, housing for the elderly, down payment assistance, and rental assistance ranked top 3. Most recently, we attended the Environmental Summit on October 9th. We set up a booth, and we had 47 surveys completed. The top 3 priorities that day were performing arts centers, downtown revitalization, and Resaca restoration. We invite you to join us at our next outreach events. The next one coming up December 5th is the Water Awareness Summit and the Ciclovia event on December 14th. We've really branded our campaign and our logo. I've provided one of the promotional items that we give out when we're serving the community. So please help us to improve and expand and increase participation with our surveys. Thank you.
Stephanie, I have a question. Do you ask the same questions on the surveys every year, or do you add
Every year we've
questions?
improved it. And then we have for different age ranges. So we even have surveys for kids. And then we have teens, and then we have adults. So we do modify it. We do have a, if you will, a quick and dirty type of survey. When we're out at Ciclovia, for example, having a 20 question survey doesn't really fit that event. But when we do have other outreach events where there's exhibits, we do have people who are willing to sit there for a couple minutes and fill out our electronic surveys.
Great.
We do have all those results if anyone is ever interested in seeing those. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. Appreciate it very much.
Our next item is the Employee of the Month presentation.
Mayor, members of the commission, please help me welcome our Employee of the Month for November, Jackie Montes, from the Traffic Department. Young lady, but she's been working with us for 19 years. Started off at the purchasing department, is now working at our traffic department. She's moved up the ranks. She is project administrator there. She has done well in handling and being able to work with the variety of departments that are in need of traffic issues with the community when we need to work on projects or events in our city. She is engaged with a lot of agencies that offer or wish to work with us on some of our projects and things like that. And she's done very well. We're very pleased with her. We are very highly thankful for all she does for the city. As you know, our banquet is a month away. She is eligible for Employee of the Year at the banquet. And for now, she is our Employee of the Month for November. So always on time, but we'll still give her a watch. the Employee of the Month pin. And the plaque recognizer for the Employee of the Month for November. So we congratulate Jackie Montes. She's got a few words.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I sincerely appreciate being recognized as Employee of the Month. I want to express my gratitude to all of you for the recognition, in particular to my director, Robert Esparza, and to all my coworkers for always being there for me. This recognition really means a lot to me, and it gives me the strength to work hard every day and to better myself as an employee and a better person. I am so proud to be a city employee, and it's a pleasure working for the city.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you.
Item 5, consent agenda items A through D.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 6, consideration and action to appoint or reappoint a city representative and an alternate representative to the Amigos del Valle Board.
I'd like to nominate Commissioner John Villarreal.
Were we considering appointing a staff member? Can we pull that up?
I believe that you all had talked about that, as you all didn't have as much time
Didn't
to
you say
attend
you
all
wanted
these
it?
meetings.
Do you, unless Commissioner Vieira,
No, well, I mean, if
We've got
nobody
John
else-
working pretty hard already.
Yeah.
If nobody else wanted, I've already served on this board, I think Jessica and Dr. Gowan as well. But if someone else is interested,
I think because of the time of the meeting and having to travel so far, I think it would be better to appoint a staff member and then having a commissioner as an alternate.
I agree with that. Having
It's a good
served
idea.
on the board, I'm sure
In the
you would
past,
agree.
we've had the planning director either be appointed and/or the alternate. So we can certainly entertain the idea of appointing our planning director.
Okay.
So we'll entertain a motion to get a staff member, planning director.
Motion to do so.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Now, as an
An alternate?
alternative,
I'd like to nominate Commissioner John Villarreal as an alternate.
okay. Do we have a second?
Is that okay? Second?
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 7 is public comment period. Yoli, do I have In action on resolution number 2014-064 concerning the negotiation, transfer, and conveyance of Lincoln Park to the University of Texas System and authorizing City of Brownsville staff to undertake such matter.
Mayor and Commissioners, we are submitting some small amendments to the resolution. I've provided you a copy, and on the first page is a copy of the resolution in final form. On the second copy is the resolution with the track changes, so you can see there's just a few small changes. I'm going to go over them. Down on 1, 2, 3, 4. The sixth paragraph will read, whereas the University of Texas has professed interest, we will delete the word purchasing, we will submit the word acquiring the current park, and we will add the phrase, and paying $6.5 million in relocation costs. On the second page, at paragraph C, we will delete the word sale, and we will substitute the word conveyance. So with those changes, that would be the resolution that's before you, and I'd let the city manager put on the presentation. Thank you.
Mark, does this require a first and second reading all over?
No, this is a resolution. This is just a resolution.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor, Commissioner, this is an action item. The public hearing, as you know, was held last Thursday at the Tony Gonzalez Park. Some of the commission was in attendance. In 2013, the resolution was passed by the commission in relation to the relocation of Lincoln Park to a site that the city would select, and the Lincoln Park as it is today would be eventually turned over to the university in a period of 3 to 5 years, depending on how that is worked out in any agreements we have with them. And this is an action item that you all have to make a decision on.
Motion to deny?
I'm sorry, this is not a public hearing. I appreciate it, but this is still Robert Rules of Order, sir. Thank you very much. Okay, there's a motion on the floor to deny.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, doesn't carry. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you very much.
This is for 6.5?
As a resolution that was noted by our by our attorney, it identifies a number. The resolution that was passed identifies, as you can read, that the university is responsible for the relocation cost of the park to our new location. All efforts will be done to accommodate that cost. We have not totally gotten the total sum of that done, but we are working on that as we speak.
Because it's my understanding that the university appraised the park at way more than the 6.5. So I know the amenities might be covered with the 6.5, but not the infrastructure. So I'm worried we're going to be left with half a park.
Our estimates are that we may exceed and probably exceed 6.5. However, we have not done surveying, right-of-way acquisitions that require us entrance points and all that. Our departments have worked on, and engineers have worked on cost of infrastructure work. We're pretty close. The numbers are close.
All right. Thank you. Item number 9.
Item number 9, consideration and action to authorize the acceptance of a grant award and execute an interlocal agreement for the multi-agency interjurisdictional South Texas Auto Theft Enforcement Task Force among the City of Brownsville, Texas, Cameron County Tax Assessor's Office, Cameron County District Attorney's Office, the City of McAllen, Texas, City of FAR, Texas, and the City of Edinburgh, Texas.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. This interlocal agreement is required to continue the participation of this interagency program, auto theft grant, between the PD and the aforementioned agencies, and your approval is requested to continue with this program.
To approve. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 10, consideration and action to accept the Sprint Nextel rebanding contract as required by the Federal Communications Commission Fifth Report and ordering to adopt a reconfigured channel plan for the 800 megahertz band along the U.S.-Mexico border.
Mayor, Commissioners, Commander Pass is going to present these next two items to you.
Thank you.
Mayor, City Commission, both these items, they're complicated contracts. However, it doesn't expend any city money. It's actually money coming to us. In the spring of 2013, you, the mayor, and the commission authorized us to go digital radio system, basically P25 compliant, which basically means we went live April 2014, means in an emergency situation, if you need to talk to the president on the radio, you could right now, crystal clear, and we can, anywhere in the country. And that's this part of it is Sprint Nextel has bought the old frequencies that we used to use, and the FCC requires that they have to compensate the cities for this. The items they compensate with would be analog. We've already gone digital. So we're opting for the cash option. And the cash option is Sprint will pay the city costs not to exceed $461,613.91. That covers radios, old radios that can't be rebanded, a couple repeaters, stuff like that. There's also, we've spent quite a lot of time with legal, myself, the lieutenant in charge of radio communications. Right as if we sign the contract, also $53,000 covers those kind of costs, labor costs, officers having to go to Motorola to check their radios and those kind of works we're being compensated for. We're asking for your approval of this item. If you have any questions, I brought people just to answer, but this is money coming to us.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 11, consideration and action to award a Motorola scope of work contract regarding the Sprint Nextel rebanding contract as required by the Federal Communications Commission's Fifth Report and order adopting a reconfigured channel plan for the 800 megahertz band along the U.S.-Mexico border.
This ties in with the last agenda item. This basically states that Sprint Nextel will be using Motorola to do the work, which means Sprint Nextel will be paying Motorola to do the work. It doesn't cost us money. It's actually Sprint it's just an agreement saying the scope of work that Motorola has to do to complete their process. And we're asking for approval of this contract as well.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioner.
Item number 12, consideration and action to authorize renewal of a term contract for the activation program promoting multimodal transportation.
Good evening, Mayor and City Commission. On September 3rd, 2013, this commission awarded a term contract to Bike Texas of Austin, Texas for the activation program promoting multimodal transportation. The services under the contract are for the development and implementation of an activation program that uses innovative marketing and outreach techniques to support the long-term vision of Brownsville's Trails Master Plan to promote the regional mobility transportation opportunities available to Brownsville, to ensure that the city of Brownsville surrounding colonias, rural areas are included as part of any transit and bicycle pedestrian outreach and connectivity efforts. Today with me we have Mr. Robin Stallings from Bike Texas, Executive Director. He will be making a presentation on the first year's report.
I can advance with this.
Yes.
Mayor, Commissioners, thank you very much for giving me a chance to speak. As you said, my name is Robin Stallings. I'm the Executive Director of Bike Texas. I know it's late in the evening, and so I'll go through this quickly, but have your questions, either interrupt me or we can save them until the end, and I'll move through this pretty quick. I just want to say that we have really been excited about the work in Brownsville. And as the buzz about Brownsville and its interest in active transportation is kind of caught on across Texas, not just in the Valley, but even across the country now, we're really excited for the small part and the role that we have to play in this. There. Okay, great. So we've got 6 basic items that were in the contract. I won't read you the slide. We've had detailed reports that are available to any of you all if you have any questions. But it'll give you kind of a general idea as I go through these topics. Which way do I- And so many of y'all are familiar with Fernando Martinez, who's our program manager for the region, longtime staff person for Bike Texas. Yeah. And he's also was a regional manager for Amarillo for several years before working in headquarters for many years in Austin. And even prior to working for Bike Texas in 2001, he actually translated many of our materials into Spanish. So we've had one of the few education programs in the country that has both English and Spanish materials. So our second thing was to basically identify what we have to work with. Let's see, right here, by reviewing the city's current outreach and marketing strategies. And we talk about with more detail in our reports about what we did there. Then we looked at the information distribution channels. And all of these took a whole lot more time than I'm reflecting in this brief presentation. And then we wanted to make sure that all the city staff, because this is a bit of a shift to add essentially a whole nother mode to your transportation systems that have been well established for decades. So it is more of a shift than you think. And so I'll show you a couple of slides later with the survey. Over 50% of the respondents of the city of Brownsville were familiar with the bicycle master plan, bicycle trails master plan. And so that's really good. We had quite a high response rate as well from an email sent out by City Manager Kabler. And we also think that we're going to go back to these, do a new survey in this coming year to see if knowledge about the master plan has increased. But so this is part of identifying if they're aware of the goals and the policies, and then also to make sure that we're disseminating information about the master plan through many ways by bringing speakers here, or we had quite a great delegation at the Texas Trails and Active Transportation Conference. And that's part of how the world's been learning about Brownsville is through this conference and a national conference where Brownsville was invited to present. Then also we've got the community review to get the word out amongst the population and to develop stakeholder interest so that this doesn't remain a top-down process. But really, it's such a new thing that it's almost like until people have experienced the kind of safe bike and pedestrian facilities, they don't really know to ask for it yet. And part of this is a chicken and egg process, so we're trying to introduce this to people and working with all the different departments here in Brownsville. And then part of this gives you a little bit of sense of the community review and some of the outreach. And then working with city staff, trying to come up with what is that timeline that makes sense for traffic, for transportation, it's amazing how many different departments that this touches on. As I mentioned, those two, plus health, plus parks, and it goes on and on. And so we're happy to say that I believe it was yesterday that 6th Street work began. And that's going to be a real interesting protected bike lane. It will be the first in the valley, one of the first outside of Austin, Texas, in the state of Texas. Yet across the country, it's taken on in leading cities around the country, including New York and Chicago, LA, Long Beach. Many cities have gone to this, but Brownsville is one of the leading cities in the South. Atlanta, I know that I was talking to somebody who originally came from Atlanta earlier, and Atlanta has begun this as well. So it's pretty exciting to see Brownsville in that kind of a leading group. Then we've got the activation plan began in June, but it's going to be ongoing and going into the second year. As you can see, some of the things that we're working on and we're trying to play a little part in and be a catalyst in. The connectivity, and these are some of the key partners that we've been working on. Of course, as Norma Zamora said, that of course we're working directly with B Metro, but also now coming into the coming year we'll be working with the MPO more, Cameron County more, even Los Fresnos and Rancho Viejo. while Brownsville remains the leading city in this effort. Then it's not just about affordable living, which we've heard something about, and we all know how important affordable housing is, but combined with transportation, it's really about affordable living. And a lot of times they say that the closer you can live to your home or to your work, then you can pay even a little bit more for a car, or rather for your home, or you can do with one less car. So it's kind of, affordable living is a combination of factors. And with help from the Ford Foundation that's leveraging this grant and the dollars that the city has put in, they have a particular interest in including the colonias and tying them into the transportation network system, and also tying them into education and health and other resources. And that bicycle or the extra step, walking more, can connect to transit, which can expand the value of the transit systems. So it's almost like getting more out of the existing transit assets than not just adding something to it, but it's getting a bigger benefit for what you already have. In addition to people that might choose to do that whole trip by bicycle, it's really combined with all the other assets, cars, pedestrians, and transit. Then this is also talking, gives you a little bit of an idea. This is one of the events that we held in one of the colonias. Then expanding the trail network. There's yet more expansion to the trail network. I was talking to Commissioner Kabler earlier, and pretty soon Brownsville is going to have such an exciting trail network that it's actually going to become a destination for winter Texans. The standards are very high in Minnesota. They have very high expectations for what kind of trail systems and what they expect. And we're competing for those. They come in, they spend their money, and they don't use our schools, and they go back. And that's pretty cool. And we love the winter Texans. And things like these trail systems are going to be part of, not only benefit the citizens that already live here, but they have a chance. It's going to be, I believe, part of the real future marketing for Brownsville tourism and conventions. Then, of course, the 6th Street improvements. It's going to be beautiful. Also, bringing other expertise that we've been able to. In this case, the grants folks should appreciate this. We wanted to make sure that there was as widely spread knowledge in the valley, in the region, and so working with all 3 MPOs in the region of how to access more federal transportation dollars for these types of active transportation investments. And Brownsville has done extremely well in leveraging and putting some money in, but finding other support, including, like I mentioned, the Ford Foundation, a lot of the grants that can fund these activities. This is not something that actually all comes from the taxpayers here, but the taxpayers are able to leverage their dollars in a really smart way, and then it continues to multiply over the years as you attract more tourism. Now it becomes more hotel and occupancy taxes. So it's a virtuous circle. NACTO guideline is something else we played a small role in as a catalyst, but that's the other thing that puts Brownsville in the leading edge of cities that are thinking about this stuff. Federal Highway Administration is actually following your lead. They're actually developing their own guideline based on NACTO, and we think that it'll be more likely that TxDOT will come around and adopt these same things, like's being implemented on 6th Street. We're having to kind of bring some of the old transportation thinking into the new age, and Brownsville's helping to do that. We've been happy to help on some PSAs and other marketing promotional. Not everything costs. A lot of it is just more awareness, can bring more safety. We know we've had some tragedies in the last year, and that's what happens when you're mixing cars and humans. And of the 3,500 fatalities every year in Texas, only 50 are bicyclists. So it's probably still safer to ride a bicycle on the street than to sit in front of your TV eating potato chips watching television. It's still something that needs to be safer, and there should be zero tolerance for any fatalities, whether it's pedestrians or bicyclists. So we're trying to do our part, working with the different departments on that. The ciclovias are exciting and have caught on. It's become the most successful series of ciclovia events across Texas. And while San Antonio's, theirs is catching on and it's gotten to be pretty stable, I believe that Brownsville has done more than all the other cities combined at this point. It's very exciting. So another way that y'all clobbered Austin. I know I shouldn't, that's the city I live in, and I shouldn't be coming down here and talking about my homies, but basically Brownsville is jumping ahead on a few things, and the Cicla Vias is just absolutely special. You all should really be proud of that. We're happy that we have some small role in that. This is the kind of reports that we have on feedback from City of Brownsville employees. We can see that in both cases, over half are aware of it, and over half are very familiar with the goals of the Bicycle and Trail Master Plan of those that responded. And then continuing on into year 2, we intend to continue more of the same stuff as part of our activation plan. And then also we'll be doing, including some regional focus, as I said, a little bit more now with the excitement that has caught on here in Brownsville. Now Los Fresnos and Rancho Viejo want some of this. Cameron County is real excited to see how the cities tie in together. Ultimately, that creates more value for Brownsville when your systems are connected. Just like an interstate system that didn't go anywhere is of limited value. And I guess you all know it better than anybody in the country that you're finally getting an interstate highway here. It's the same thing with trail networks. The more that they can connect with other communities, the more value they become to the communities that have them. And with that, I'll call it a day. If y'all have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Robin, thank you so much. Good to see you.
Thank you
Nice to
very
see you,
much,
Mr.
Robin and Fernando. A motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
So what's the election?